space is a place for us.
Real people with real issues.
Discussing real topics.
Black space.
A safe space for our community.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. And so then as women, we get these men who are totally into us and, you know, like the Steve Urkels of our life, who we're not necessarily that attracted to, but he's really into us. And you know, this guy would be so good for you. And then you hear an idea at like 19, 20 years old, like make him wait, you know, whatever, if this is a guy you could really be with. Then you go out and you see like that dude who you are like, whoa, like the attraction is carnal. Like, wow, that dude. And then he sees you across the room. Now y'all dancing over. Oh, now you meet each other. And all of a sudden that same rule or that same idea that you just heard that you thought was a really great idea. Like if you want to be with this guy, wait 30 days. But this dude you just saw, you're so attracted to him. It's like kismet. You're gonna end up with him like that night, 20, 30 minutes later, it's not gonna matter. But what you just said, that took growth. It takes growth to get there. It takes a little bit of experience because, of course, the first time I heard that, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. But then you find yourself breaking that rule. It wasn't about whether he was an alpha or a beta.
Yes, it was.
It was
that
about
alpha. It was that alpha that you were attracted to. That alpha. You weren't even going to look Steve Urkel's way because he's a beta. He's the nice guy. The alpha guy won. He won.
Always
yes, he did.
The finest guy won. The finest. If I have a
it's not always the finest. It's not always the finest because Lil Wayne ain't the finest dude on the earth.
No, and Lil
Wayne
got
money, so that's different.
Lil Wayne, even after he had money, never had a shot. Like I would not like sleep with him. I would not see him in the club.
He didn't have a shot with Sam, but he had a shot with a lot of women, just like Jay-Z. Jay-Z had got Beyonce because he's an alpha guy. Alpha men win. It ain't about looks. Alpha is not about looks. Looks is the woman's thing. The reason that women fail, in my opinion, is because y'all focus too much on looks and you eliminate a lot of guys because you want him to be just as good looking as you are. It's not how it works. But when y'all are happy y'all are happy with that alpha guy because you feel protected and provided for. But the alpha males win. I'm telling you.
Are you kidding me? The protectors and providers are the Steve Urkels. They're the ones who end up coming out on top.
Let me interject.
Sorry.
So we have the and that's fine, Sam. Don't even apologize. This is good. You're doing an excellent job, as well as Penny. I think Penny has met his equal. So anyway, Penny has established the criteria for winning from the male side. Sam, what is your criteria for winning as it pertains to alpha male from the female side?
Okay, that's kind of a loaded question. Okay, so alpha male, if we're going by like the definition, like what Penny gave, you know, the guy who's winning all the time, I think that we recognize the people who are the biggest, the boldest, and the loudest, right? So when they're like, oh, somebody was outraged because this person online said this, right? Like we're giving a voice to the loudest person. They're going to get heard. So I feel like alphas are seen more, but the Steve Urkels of the world, the betas, I think that they win more. I think that they foster.
Okay. But let me make sure I'm hearing you correctly. As it pertains to the alpha, and now that you kind of included the beta, what is your definition of winning?
Happiness. Happiness along with successfulness. Like in terms of with women, like getting that love of your life, being happy in the situation that you're in. Not always striving for more, not already having 40 million in the bank and wanting 40 more.
Gotcha. Okay. I like that. Okay.
That's winning.
All right. Awesome. Janelle.
I would say winning, like as far as like from an alpha male's perspective, you're saying?
Well,
like as alpha male is winning?
No, not from the alpha.
From a woman's
male,
perspective.
From your perspective of the alpha male, what is winning to you?
Oh, gotcha. I would say someone who has a trophy. I mean, alpha men, like as we know, they're dominant. They want to conquer. They want to succeed. You know, they're going to want to have the trophy wife. They're going to be wanting to make six figures and beyond. You know, they're going to want the big house, the big cars. So, you know, not just material things, but they want to be surrounded with the finest and the best. And they're probably only going to be very selective in the type of women that they choose as well. So, yeah.
Okay. So Sam hit on something that I think really brings the primary significance to this conversation as it pertains to alphas and betas. So here's my next question, and then we'll jump into the diatribe on it. For the women, which man makes the better lifelong partner, the alpha or the beta?
Janelle.
I would say the beta because like Sam was saying earlier, they're the protectors, they're the ones you feel safe with. One, not everybody wants them, right? They're home every night, they're not out on the scene trying to be seen. They're not out, you know, blazing the trail. They're, you know, you could feel more confident that they're going to take care of you. And that's just based on experience. However, you do want somebody who can grab you by the back of the head and be like, girl, sit down, you know. And a beta male isn't going to do that because he doesn't want to rock the boat. You know? So it's kind of like we said earlier, you kind of want that in between. So why can't we talk about some in between?
Yeah.
Okay.
A beta or something. I don't know.
All right. Sam, do you concur?
Absolutely, 100%. Like everything she just said.
All right. So y'all left a big gaping hole for Penny just to drive a big 747 right down the pipe. Go get him, Penny.
I'm gonna tell you this, Penny. When I was young, like I use that Steve Urkel for a reason. My mother always would say when we were watching that show, she'd say, "You get yourself a man like that. Not only is he going to be successful in life, but he's going to love you. Make sure that they love you to death. Like they got to love you more before you love them because women give 100%, you know?" So I always had that kind of ingrained. Like those guys are going to be the good guys. And they're the faithful guys. They're the guys who were faithful from in their 20s. Anyway, go ahead.
You know, those guys are faithful because they don't have options, right? But you know what's funny? Women will say, "I want the beta guy. I want the guy to hold my hair when he's washing my hair. I want the guy to put his jacket down when there's a puddle." You say that, but your actions and the numbers say you want the alpha driven jerk. That's what the numbers say. The women want that guy. So there is a ton of dating sites do this. They do this. They break down the stats, right? They break down the stats, right? And they talk about not just dating sites, but there's a lot of studies about what is that? The 80-20 rule, George. 80% of the women go for 20% of the men. You all say, yeah, after you've dealt with the alpha jerks in your youth, right? In your youth, you deal with the alpha jerks because he has all the women around him. And Janelle pointed to this in the conversation. You know, you deal with the alpha jerks in your youth and you figure out that, well, this guy has all these women around him and I don't feel like dealing with that. And so you then figure it out and slow it down, you know, maybe. But all women still want the alpha guy. They still want the alpha guy. They want the alpha. They say they want the beta, but they want the alpha guy. That's why he has all the most options. That's why alpha men have all the options.
Okay, so before I take us to a deeper component of this conversation, DJ J.A., I can't pronounce his last name, it's very unique, Millwedge, I think. Here are his comments. Betas don't win. They never get who they want. They always end up with who they can get. In addition, he says, Oh, no, that was that. He said, he repeated on his next passage, but at the end he says, what they get are the leftovers.
Mm.
Wow, that's pretty
That's
powerful.
cold-blooded.
Right.
So as you marinate in DJ A. Millwedge's wisdom here,
That's not wisdom.
I believe it was Janelle that said something pretty interesting, it's challenging. Janelle said that she doesn't want a man who's too subservient or too dominant. Now, I understand where that comes from. As a man, I'm a therapist. That's what I do. Right. So I understand the psychology behind that. But as a man, which I am first, that's a pretty challenging standard or objective. Let me say objective. That's a pretty challenging objective to try to accomplish. Because
Are you an alpha?
I don't categorize myself. First of all, I let other people's perceptions take the day on that, right? And I don't feel the need that I have to put myself in a category. I'll know how I'm perceived.
What I hear you saying is that you're not going to be subject to those like rules, like you're not.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
A label is not something that I'm going to be particular to. It's, so I'm a man. And one thing about a man is, at least from my rule, the first man law is men don't require permission for others to be men.
Amen to that.
So there's a cliche a lot of people like to use, and they use it towards women. They say, women, let a man be a man.
Mm-hmm.
There's a problem with that to me.
Yes.
I don't need you to let me be a man.
No.
Being a man means this to me. I may love you, but I know good and well that I'm going to piss you off a few times. That's just part of the cake. Ain't because I don't love you, but sometimes I might make you angry because I do love you.
The people who you love and who are the closest to you are the people who will piss you off the most.
Right.
And that's always the case. So of course that goes hand in hand with just living in a house with someone.
That's just part of the deal. So for me, labels kind of get in the way. They can be advantageous and they can be disadvantageous. You live by the sword you die by the sword you live by. So anyway, I didn't mean to get personal on my thing. However, as it pertains to this finding the balance between subserviency and dominance, how best, and I'm going to put this in Penny's area first. Penny, do you find yourself trying to tightrope that line of subserviency and dominance?
So, younger me, yes. Older me, no. Because at the end of the day, when the crap is, I always use because it's just a great metaphor it's a great metaphor for marriage, but it's also a great metaphor for relationships. I always use the captain analogy, right?
Black Space, a safe space for our community.